I told you he was real, did I not? That guy is absolutely amazing, guys. Seriously, like, I was about ready to just get up and go and start taking some action but I'm like, I'm stuck here, I'm committed. You know, after this, I'm just like, I can't, so many minds, I'm like writing down my paper, like action steps I'm about to take tonight, you know. I'm telling you, he's real, right? And it gets you pumped up. But the reason is because you understand from his realness that, like, wow, like, it could be that easy, right? And it's like, talks about it being so easy. What's so easy to do is also so easy not to do, which is why so many people don't do it, and they're just not aware that such simple steps, creating those little wins, can create such gigantic wins to your overall success, right? With that, this next speaker I'm going to bring in, oh my gosh, she is amazing. You guys are going to be excited to see this. Lucy Worth, this woman, I've only known for just under a year now, but has completely changed my life, especially with some of her services she offers. My life has completely rocket shipped up, totally look at things a different way. And she's going to go into talking a little bit about how your brain works, right? And how there's a difference between the lower brain and the higher brain, right? And so that little bit of that higher brain, and she's going to go into this. I'm not the expert, so I'll let her discuss that. But that part of your brain where you're like, I know I can do this, right? This is something I want. I know I can do this. And then that other part of your brain be like, I don't know. No, you can't. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that. And then so you like start double thinking yourself, right? Well, this is what she's getting into, and be prepared. It's going to blow your mind. So with that, Lucy Worth.
Yeah! Thanks, everyone. Oh my God, I am so thrilled to be here. This group is amazing. I can't tell you, and I feel incredibly blessed to be part of them and to just have their energy around me to support me for everything that I need to do. And like you heard, I'm here to talk about the brain. We have this amazingly powerful brain. We all know that. You know it. And then we sit back and go, how come I'm not using it? You've heard we use 5 to 10% of our brain. Well, why is that, you ask? I have it, why aren't I using it? Well, the answer is you just haven't been taught. You haven't learned how to tap into that powerful part of you. And I'm here to tell you a little bit about that. So we have this lower brain, it's called the primitive brain. And it comes back from century and eons and many years ago, back to the caveman. It served him really well. His whole job every day was to go out and get food for his family and bring it home. And when he brought it home, he felt successful. And to him, sameness was safety. If he could go out and get that food, bring it home for his family, he was happy. God forbid he should see a tiger on his path and go, oh, what do? I need to come up with something different. Well, that served him well, but that brain does not serve us today because it keeps us in our patterns and it keeps us in our ruts that are really supporting us in taking our life and our dreams and our ideals and skyrocketing to make them happen. So, how do we put that primitive brain to rest? That's the question. You might have heard the word neuroplasticity. It's kind of the new buzzword when it comes to the brain. And what that's about is, originally it was thought that our brains were hardwired and that we really couldn't do anything to change them or have them be anything more than what they were. But now we know our brains are plastic and they can actually be molded. And we can change the chemistry in our brain. And it's that chemistry in our brain that plays with our emotions and our feelings and our thoughts. And it's all those emotions and those feelings and those thoughts that we have that create our day. When we get out of bed, what are those first thoughts that we have? So how do we change that chemistry? We have this amazing potential. And we have to move into, I have it. How do I use it? Now I want to just mention briefly Dr. Bruce Lipton. Some of you may have heard of him. He wrote this book, The Biology of Belief. It's an amazing book, especially because here we have a medical doctor who was trained in traditional medicine. And what he thought was, oh, we're given this certain DNA, we're stuck with it. Whatever our genes are, that's what we have. Our illnesses and everything else in our life is predetermined by that DNA. But then through the course of his life and some experiences that he had, he came to a different conclusion. And what he concluded is that we have the ability to actually change our health and our well-being by our thoughts. So I mentioned this neurochemistry that goes on. Well, this chemical environment that we have in our body is what our cells sit in. Those cells that are multiplying constantly, renewing themselves every day. Well, when we have negative thoughts, whether we're angry or we're upset or we're stressed, that chemical environment becomes negative. Then those cells are in this negative chemical environment. That's why we have illness. And what he says is, if you change your thoughts and your beliefs, that chemical environment changes. Now your cells are multiplying and reproducing in a much healthier environment. Sounds pretty simple. But the proof is in the pudding. You'll see someone who has cancer, for instance. Why does one person succumb and go, oh, woe is me, oh, I'm sick, oh, I'm this, oh, I'm that? Well, they keep creating this spiral of negative thoughts. They don't stand a chance. I mean, they could get lucky, a miracle could happen. And yet you have that other person that says, oh my God, I'm going to conquer this. I'm going to beat this. It's not going to get the best of me. And they wake up every day going, I have another day to live. What can I do with this day? They're changing that chemical environment in their brain. They have a much better chance of success in their life. So that's, he's talked about the primitive brain, and he's in alignment with that, and how we need to quiet that lower brain and have our thoughts be along lines of success and empowerment so that we can create what we want in our world. So it's nice to have that validation from a medical MD that our thoughts are really powerful. We hear it. Thoughts are things. Now we know they really are. And I invite you to embrace that, because as we go on, you'll see a little bit more. So it's been said that about 90% of the illnesses that exist are some part of a product of the stress that we have in our life. And that makes a lot of sense, whether it's high blood pressure, weight gain, depression. We have stresses. Stresses cause our immune system to become affected, and then we fall to, oh, I don't feel well. And then as you embrace that thought, again, you go down this path of, oh, okay, that illness that could have just been like, oh, I don't really feel good right now, suddenly becomes this malady that you embrace and take on. It doesn't have to be that way. And so how does sameness equals safety apply in your life? Well, this lower brain wants to keep you where it knows it's safe. And it's very important and it's very powerful, because neuroscience tells you that every single thing that happens in every moment of your day is filtered through that lower brain, because it's there to keep you safe. So every activity, like you're walking down the street and suddenly out of the corner of your eye you think you see a car. Well, that's that lower brain, that's your subconscious, keeping you safe. We need it to be effective and present in our life. But it's also the one that keeps us frozen when we want to do something, that makes our fears seem real when we already heard fears don't really exist. You know, they're a figment of our imagination, actually. And so the key is to learn how to quiet that part of the brain so it doesn't take over your life. Acknowledge it for what it can do for you, and then realize that we have this other brain. It's the prefrontal cortex, or what I would call the higher brain. And the higher brain is what we call the CEO of our well-being. It's that part of us that controls all of our health. That happens every minute of every day that we don't even know about. Every heartbeat, every breath that we take, everything that happens in our body, it's all controlled by that higher brain. And it knows what's the best for us when it comes to health, for sure. But when it comes to every decision that we make in our life, that higher brain knows what we need. It knows what experience would be best for us. It's where the monks spend their time. So they have that clarity and that focus and that calm and that centeredness. Now imagine if you could put yourself in that space every morning when you wake up and know you're going to have the clarity and the focus to have the best day ever, because you're not run by those fears and those stresses and that anxiety that makes you a wreck where you can't possibly think about what you want in your life, because how could you? It's fun. You can have fun with this. So the lower brain is about survival. The higher brain is about your life of passion, purpose, and joy, and having those dreams become your reality. And that can happen. So how do we get that higher brain to be more operative in our life? Well, there's a number of ways. So one is meditation. Yeah, that's why the monks do it. Meditation for a lot of people can be very challenging. First of all, you have to be rather disciplined. My opinion, of course. You have to set a time, you have to sit, you have to let your thoughts go somewhere, and how most people do that is a challenge in itself, because they've got a million things going on. So meditation is one way. Another way to help enhance that part of the brain is affirmations. We've all heard about affirmations, but it's true, because people don't really realize the negative thoughts that they're having moment after moment. I, who like to think I'm a pretty conscious individual, I have them. So, for instance, I'm blessed with amazing health and amazing energy. I wake up in the morning and I feel good. So one morning, all of a sudden the clock rings, and I go, wow, I don't really feel that good today. Well, I'm starting my day off with that thought. So now I'm creating, I don't feel that great, whereas, the thought could be, well, I don't have my usual energy that I usually wake up with right now. What's that about? And be curious as to what's going on. But instead you get up and you start to walk around, and then you go, yeah, I really don't feel that great. So I'm just creating this little cocoon of, I normally feel fabulous, and I'm like, I don't feel that good, and now I'm reinforcing, wow, I don't feel that good. And this could continue to happen the day, and I could just let myself get caught into that, and then I don't feel good. Oh, well, I can't really get that done because I really don't have the energy. Well, you see this whole day's going down the tubes. So I invite you, JT mentioned how get up in the morning and just do one thing and make the bed. Well, I invite you, start even before that. When that clock rings, instead of hitting it and go, oh, I really don't want to get up. Oh, I really feel tired. Oh, I really want to sleep some more. Go, oh my God, it's another day. And even if your thoughts don't go any further than that in that moment, start out with that, oh my God, it's another day. Practice that for a few days. And then, once you get that as a little bit of a habit and you get used to that instead of like, the drudgery, well, I have to get up now. Then you go, oh, I wonder what I can do today to make this day amazing. And just start with the little things. And then as you have those thoughts, believe me, opportunities will start to present themselves because you're starting out with a whole different perspective. And let me tell you, life is all about perspective. You know, sometimes you get tired of seeing the people that have this, rosy colored world. But let me tell you, their rosy colored world and those rose colored glasses are giving them a much better life than your world when you're sitting and wallowing in your crap every day. One, it just takes you down the path where the tiger is. Then you can really get scared. Whereas when you have those rose-colored glasses, you have opportunities. You have the opportunity to go, yeah, how can I start this day? How can I make it better? What can I do? And the more you do that, you'll find you're going to start waking up going, wow, it's a new day. I'm alive and I can do all kinds of stuff. Who can I meet today? What can I do for my business? How can I help someone? There's all kinds of things that can feed you. And you can start to look for those things. And as you start to feed yourself, your soul, your being, all of a sudden you're going to start to feel better on a whole lot of levels. and then you'll look for more, you'll create more, and you'll just feel a whole lot happier all the way around. So, start with a win every day. Another way to get yourself into that higher brain is, as was mentioned, it's the work that I do. I have a technique that actually changes the physiology in that part of your brain. It's very simple, it's effortless, and it does that, and it's fun and life-changing, and I'll be happy to share that information more. Feel free to contact me. I'm passionate. I finally found what I'm here in the world to do, to change lives and to give people the power that they need in a positive way to have the life that they desire. So, and what it does is it actually oxygenates your body, your cells, and that part of your brain. And you all know the number one need of our bodies is oxygen. Without oxygen, we can't function. We won't be alive. You see, when you go to the doctor, he puts that little thing in your finger because he wants to know how much oxygen there is in your body. So, the more oxygenated, the more energy you have, the better you sleep, the better you feel, the more that part of your brain works, and wow, how can you have a bad day?
Right.
So, what I want to leave you with, so I hope you enjoyed all of that information, is I want to leave you with a technique, and it's called the Vegas technique. So when you're feeling this anxiousness, this stress, this lower brain stuff, this anxiety, what you want to do is you want to put your hands right over here. This is where some of the nerves are. And you want to take a breath. What you want to do is, most people breathe too many times in the course of a minute. So as you put your hands here, close your eyes, become conscious of your breath. You want to breathe in. And as you breathe in, you want to feel your chest going up, filling with that air and that breath going into your diaphragm and into your being. Breathe that breath in slowly, and then when you breathe it out, you want to breathe it out at an even slower pace than you inhaled. You want to do that for 5 or 7 times. Have it be very calming. Just feel that calmness settling in your body. And after you're done with that breath, just open your eyes. And you have the opportunity to have a whole different perspective on your moment, and then your day, and your life. So, thank you.
Lucy's one of my favorite people, so I'm not going to let her go that easy.
Yeah.
I'm likewise. I love you too.
Yes. What Lucy does is incredible. You know, we all know when our muscles are sore, we go to a masseuse and we get a massage and they feel a lot better. And it releases that tension from your muscles. What Lucy does is she massages your brain and oxygenates it. Did I say that right? Oxygenates your brain so that it functions better. And when your brain functions better, you probably have a better life, right, Lucy?
There's no question about it. From my perspective, yeah.
And I know that it's not appropriate to age drop here, but I think she's 160 years old. Look at her. She's fantastic and vibrant.
I know.
But seriously, what Lucy does is amazing. So there's a button somewhere around here. Click it. Get in contact with her. Even if you're not in her area, she can connect you with somebody who can help you with this. And it will absolutely change your life.
I guarantee
as
it.
it did mine.
I guarantee it.
Everybody in this room.
Yep.
All right. Thanks,
Thank you,
Lucy.
thank you.
All right.